like shit too, but I'm here. What lessons do you hope the next generation of boys and girls won't have to unlearn?
Okay. For Jeff?
Won't have to unlearn.
I mean,
what lessons do you hope the next generation of boys and girls won't have to? Oh, okay. Well, for one, my hope, and even when our discussion that we had earlier during this podcast, my hope is that women don't believe that they have to go through a million experiments to find the guy that they want. That they could be open to not assuming and trusting just their own emotions and feelings is going to get them there. That maybe the leadership of actually your male cousins, brothers, uncles, fathers, grandfathers, or even older male mentors, they may be able to see things that you don't because they don't have your feelings when analyzing the guy. For men, my hope is actually that they don't all have to go through divorces to realize and be able to judge women better. A lot of times men typically get really, really good at screening out women after they go through really bad heartbreaks. The problem is not all men make it out on the other side of that. Many of them end up getting depressed. They end up deleting themselves. They end up losing so much, and many of them aren't able to recover. So my hope is that a lot of guys don't get to that point, and that a lot of y'all don't have to sleep with too many guys and get too traumatized to get to the end goal of actually being able to get into a successful relationship.
I think that's crazy because I just feel like it's a cycle that can and does happen where men, like you said, they go for younger women. But they'll get hurt at a young age, and then they delete themselves. They become someone completely different because they got hurt. And now whenever they go towards younger women, sometimes they don't realize that they have learned behaviors from being hurt, and then they tack it on to the woman. So it's just like,
yeah, we become savages.
Yeah.
We
and
you
then
know,
the women start doing the thing where they think like, okay, well now I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we become all savages.
never-ending cycle.
Y'all don't learn, and then y'all keep going for the bad boys until you age out. And so it is a vicious cycle, and unfortunately, I'm realizing both as a clinician and just watching the stuff on social media that like if you don't kind of slow down and really realize and get help,
think and be self-aware.
you're going to end up being a part of the cycle where you're going to be jaded and hating men, or you're going to be saying all men ain't this, all men are shit, when in reality is you're not single by choice. You're single because of your choices.
Correct.
That's the truth. That's the reality of it. So my hope in terms of the future generation is that we kind of learn a lot sooner from other people's mistakes than having to feel like we got to keep doing it on our own.
You know, I think that's some pretty wishful thinking. I think it's going to get worse.
It probably
way
will.
worse. The reality is that most men can't even make it to get married nowadays or get a girlfriend. A lot of guys just, unfortunately, are just not attractive to a majority of women.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more single people. It's already going up now, but I think we're going to see more single people than ever before. And the problem is that the women don't have a problem with finding a guy. It's that their standards are too damn high, right? You were talking about this earlier with income, and you were explaining to them how, you know, the higher standards go, and the more money you make and the more money you want your partner to make, the less men qualify. But the problem with that is, you know, as you get into this upper echelon of men, like you were asking them before, what does that guy want back in return?
Yeah.
Ladies, do you know what that guy wants back in return? I don't think anyone really answered. I was listening. No one gave.
Who wants in return?
That higher earner, what does he want back in return?
Just respect.
Someone who listens.
Like, to be
His
pleased.
investment.
All right, let's go through. What do you think is the most important thing they want back in return? We'll go here and then work our way around.
Someone who listens and is easy to deal with.
All right, what about you? Okay, what about you?
Loyal, someone that listens to him, younger, hotter.
All right, what about you?
He wants his investment back in return.
Okay, what about you?
I just feel like being a woman, being your most feminine, submissive to your man and respect
All right,
goes
what
a
about
long
you?
way.
What do you think?
I think peace. A woman needs to bring peace and value into the man's life.
Okay, so if you guys, do any of you guys have one of these guys?
No.
You do? She says she does.
Cool.
A peaceful man?
Well, no,
Yeah.
like a higher earner, one of these like top 1%
Yeah,
guys.
my man, Mitch _ the One Exotics. He works at Rolls Royce Miami right now.
Okay.
So you can get a car from him. He's awesome.
If you caught him with another woman, what would you do?
Nothing. Why?
You stay?
Hell yeah.
Good.
I set him up with females. He do his thing. Like me and him have an understanding.
Okay.
So,
And is closed on your end, open on his?
closed on my yes.
Okay. All right.
But it's not open on his either.
All right. What?
That
Meaning,
you're saying
like-
two different things.
Yeah.
Meaning like he does car sales, so he needs to be around women. I met him when he was a general manager of a strip club, so we were already dating. There's an understanding.
Okay, so is it if he fucked another chick, you'd be pissed off then because it's not open?
I would be upset at him,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna leave him.
But you wouldn't leave. Okay.
No.
Fair. What about and you guys? The rest of you said that you don't have one of these guys right now, right? Okay. Now, would you guys be willing to like change who you are to get this guy right now?
I'm not changing who I am. I am already the package that I'm gonna be.
Fair. Anyone else agree with that sentiment?
I'd be willing to change for like the right man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
W.
Now, let me ask you guys. We'll kind of go through this. Are you willing to give up your girlfriends? Not go out. No more girls trips. No more entertaining or talking to men. Deactivating your Instagram. Not dressing provocatively unless you're around him. Would you be willing to give up these things?
Being
Yes.
isolated?
Yes, basically, yeah, to a degree.
If those are the things
No.
he values in the relationship, yeah.
I would.
You would? I know you wouldn't. What about you?
Well,
I would if I was having that fun with him then. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not.
Okay,
going
so
out
you
with
would
my
need to
girl-
get your party fixed through him.
Well, yeah, if I'm having a good time with him,
What if he doesn't drink and go out?
go out. Like, I'm not on about clubs, but still going out, doing nice stuff, going to the beach.
No.
and-
Okay, all right, so she's still... All right, so you want some semblance of being a go out. Okay, what about you?
I would, I think.
Okay, you would... Okay, and then... I don't know, I know
Wait.
you're...
No. You will what though?
I asked her if she would change her behaviors.
Okay.
She said, but she says, what I think.
All right. Cool. You think? You should.
There you go. All right, what about you? Well, you said...
I was going to say that there's always something that you can do better,
Yay, now
as
we're gonna
in
buy a
bettering
car.
yourself to build with someone. So,
Okay.
as long as it's not something that's demoralizing, tearing me down, tearing the other person down.
So you know what's interesting? Right, from the time we're little boys, we're taught,
Yeah.
go to school, make money, be a provider, because at some point you're going to want to have a family, you're going to want to have a woman rely on you, right? We kind of are conditioned from this, right? Be a gentleman, be a nice guy. You know what I've realized? Little girls are never taught how to treat a man, like from an age. Like they're never taught, this is how you treat a boy, this is what you want to do when you get older.
Why?
You know,
Not in a
never.
Hispanic
Why though?
household.
yeah, I
We're
was
taught that
gonna
from day
say.
one.
No.
Yeah, but
no.
we're talking about Western culture.
Oh,
Western
in a
culture.
Hispanic household, you have to cook, clean, fold.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but then
Western
they
culture,
also that comes with but that also comes with the caveat of like you can be a raging
Attitude,
bitch too,
yeah,
an
attitude.
attitude, and that's
No,
unacceptable.
And now
Yeah.
today, once there are ladies in the
You know,
West that's
depends on who
describing
raised
cooking
you.
as slavery.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know,
To
so,
be fair, so
yeah, it's more about like being able to do it. But like you notice how like with young boys, little boys, like we're taught to behave a certain way towards women pretty much all the time. But with
Queens.
women, you guys are not taught how to treat men at all.
Some men are taught, just like some women are taught. Some boys, little boys, are taught the right way.
It's true. They don't
And
have
then
She
that.
thinks
some
40 year
No,
old
what I'm trying to
boys.
explain is that a majority of boys are taught how to treat women, but a majority of women are definitely not taught how to treat boys. Is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Is that an actual statistic?
Well,
is that
unfortunately,
an opinion?
we can't go ahead and make that into a statistic. But what we can say is we can look at the destruction of the family unit and the destruction of relationships, and we can pretty much figure out that feminism has created this air where a majority of women simply don't respect the majority of men, and this is shown in relationships, high divorce rates, women dissatisfaction with males in general. Like I mean, we have a plethora of other data to show that women in general in the West, where feminism is strong, simply don't respect male authority.
You don't.
Okay.
And I mean, it was
so-
shown just a second ago. What did I say? If you found this guy, which is top tier guy, would you change?
Yes.
I didn't hear not one emphatic yes except for her. The rest of you kind of thought about it.
No, I said.
But if I had this conversation 70 years ago and I said, would you change for that man? All of you would say, yes, I would. Yes, I want to be married. See the difference?
in fact,
Point, yeah.
I would even add to that, they wouldn't have had to change. They would have
Oh, there you
already
go.
been trained and taught and shown how to move in that direction,
I mean,
often
I
by their,
Yeah.
like you said, their mothers or some matriarch in the family. There's not this changing that they would have had to do. All these behaviors that they got to get rid of. They would have already been kind of walking as a future wife.
Right.
So that's where things are so skewed and so off nowadays. It's because he's literally telling the truth. What used to happen naturally in terms of training and teaching ladies, that now we call that finishing school.
Right.
Where now we have classes that people have to take to be taught how to fold napkins, how to do this, how to do that. That was like a normal thing in households, and now it's foreign. So the reality is, Myron is unfortunately telling the truth. And what you're saying, well, the guys do it too. Yeah, but of the things that you all are expecting from us, most men do know how to do it.
I'll put it this way. Every man is expected to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
Women are not expected to be ladies.
Ooh.
Right? I'm expected to hold the door for you. You're not expected to say thank you.
Ooh.
I'm expected to be polite and be nice at all times. Ladies first, right? Pay the bill, etc. These norms are still very strong on the male side, but you're not necessarily expected to respect me or my authority or what I think or, defer to my authority or my leadership. Women are not taught that. If anything, I would argue it's the other way around. Women are taught you're independent, be strong, don't listen to a man, and you don't need a man.
Queen.
Right? So in other words, my roles are static. I always have to be a man. Your roles are negotiable. You can pick and choose when you want to be a lady. That's a problem. Because I look at it like, why the fuck am I going to sit here, make money, acquire status, acquire resources, and then deal with a chick that doesn't want to do her job when I have to do my job all the fucking time? That's not a fair deal for me, right?
But if you're doing your job...
What the fuck, man? All right, it's fine. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was
Somebody's
gonna
gonna
say
say something?
if you're doing your job as a man, then it shouldn't be hard to find a woman that wants to do the job for you.
Here? In this country?
She's basically saying, like, if you got your shit together, it should be easy to find this woman, which I see her perspective.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you need to become a top 1% man to get 50 percentile results. Does that make sense? Like, this should be, like, the basics.
I guess it's because I think differently. I don't know.
But
I just feel like as long as you show consistency in what you want to be, so what you say is what you do, regardless of if you're starting here or you're in the middle or you're already up here. Like, as long as you're consistent and what you say is what you do, then you should be able to.
So be a man of my word.
Yeah.
Right? Do the right thing.
Correct.
Okay, well, how's that fair when women are taught do what's right for you? If I'm supposed to do what's right, but you do what's right for you, who's going to take an L every single time?
I mean, he said that women should.
Okay, let me answer it for you. I'm going to take the L every single time because I'm doing what's right because I'm held to this high standard. You're doing what's right for you because society tells you should always be happy. This is why the marriage rates have plummeted. What is that?
What is happiness?
That's the problem. No one can define it because women always change it. And it's unachievable for you guys.
Well,
I'll just let you.
Well, from
you don't agree that women are perpetually unhappy?
Well, I was going to say, adding to this from the mental health perspective, one of the biggest challenges that I'm realizing in therapy sessions is ladies are going to therapy, talking to therapists, counselors about their issues and ills of the relationship that they're in, and they're walking out being told the most important thing is your happiness. So when you have people who are giving oaths, who are making promises on their wedding day, and then, life happens, things change, feelings change, he's still thinking through the lens of, I'm not going anywhere. Things are hard, things suck, I'm not getting sex as much as we used to get. She may have put on some pounds.
Why?
Yeah, fat.
Yeah, like whatever it is,
Yeah.
his initial impulse isn't to leave. Oftentimes, ladies are being indoctrinated in the therapy session that they can and should. So there is this element of...
So do you...
Go ahead, I'm
sorry. Do you give that advice?
Do I do what?
Do you give that advice to leave?
Rarely.
Okay.
Rarely,
good.
but the instances that I do, it's usually abuse.
Right.
Chronic cheating, where there wasn't an agreement at some point in time between both parties, because you got to remember, even as guys, they're like, oh, you just letting guys get away with it. You got to realize you're putting her at risk.
Correct.
You're putting her health at risk. You're putting your finances at risk by doing all of this stuff. You really want to get in the habit as a guy of trying to establish with ladies what's the agreement.
But you also got to remember
Correct, yes.
that therapy is a female-dominated field. It's like psychology and psychiatry, etc. And with women coming in and dominating this field, they're giving advice that is more towards the woman's happiness, right? We don't tell again, we don't tell women do the right thing. We tell them do what's right for you, which a lot of times is to leave because it's like, oh, I can find something better, right? We you know, the whole, you know,
the grass
women will
is
destroy.
greener where you water it.
I'll put it simple. You said what? The grass is greener where you water it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of you bitches don't have enough water. Is the problem? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's another girl said the same exact thing.
We have to
Oh,
find it.
the grass is greener where you water it.
Last
Bro,
show,
it's hilarious because the problem is that you guys think that your water is filtered and fantastic and you got a lot of it. The problem is that you don't. And a lot of times, you guys can't afford the lawn that you're trying to water. If we're going to be honest.
You can't.
You guys want to go ahead and have the palatial grass and it's all great and all this other stuff. You don't qualify for the men that you think that you have the value to water the grass of.
And when you leave matters too.
You don't have enough water.
But when you leave matters as well. And that's the other thing. Y'all are waiting until after 2 kids, after 5, 8, 10 years, and being like, all right, now I'm unhappy. Now it's time for me to leave. And when you're coming back out there at 35, 38, 44, what do you think is out there waiting for you? If everybody's in their 20s complaining about the dating market now, what you think the dating market is going to be for you 20 years from now? So the reality is everything he's saying is like, I'm actually seeing it. And the field is dominated by 75% women and a whole bunch of effeminate men who's also using the same talking points. And the field has kind of moved into a place where they're trying to validate everything.
Also, they make more money. The more therapy sessions you get, the better. There's divorce attorneys. There's divorce courts. There's an entire family court system that's designed to take resources from the man and give them to the woman. So there's an entire infrastructure to keep men and women apart from a financial perspective. So I'll just say it like this, right? Men, right, will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness. Women initiate 80% of the divorces. They take the majority of the alimony. They're incentivized. They're incentivized to break up relationships because there's a financial backing to do it, and you can kind of do it with, you know, fault-free divorce. So so the reality is, like, when I say all these things, I'm not saying this to say, oh my God, relationships are in the shitter. But let me ask you a question because you've been the one that questioned me the most, which is fine. I like the inquisitiveness. If I gave you $1 million, right? I give you $1 million. And you go ahead and you buy a real estate property, right? And they tell you this property is going to be prosperous. It's going to make you a bunch of money. You're going to be able to get double your money in 10 years, right? 5 years passes and it's lost 50% of value. How'd you feel about that investment?
Well, what did I do to make it better?
Well, here's the thing. You thought that the neighborhood was going to grow. You thought, you know, Jews were going to move in, ended up blacks coming in, property, real estate went down, etc. Shit you couldn't foresee, in other words. Goes down 50%. What would you do? They would be pretty pissed off, right?
Come on.
I feel like I don't know. I just feel like there's work that has to be put in. Like, did I not do anything? Is it just because
there's certain things that you just can't control, right? The place becomes a crime-ridden area. A bunch of black people move in. They fuck it up. It turns into the hood. It is what it is. You thought the Jews were going to move in, blacks moved in, cooked. Property value goes down. It is what it is.
So I had to keep it the whole time. So at one point...
You held on to it because you didn't want to sell it at a loss. But it goes down 50%. How would you feel about that?
I just feel like you can... I don't know. I don't want to say what I think, actually.
Okay, you're taking the analogy way too literally.
Yeah,
the point I'm trying to make is that why are men going to bust their asses to become super successful, make this money... right, and invest into properties that they know are going to depreciate and create headaches for them later, which is modern women. They don't want to obey them. They don't want to serve them. They don't want to be good wives. They want to go to the club and party. They still want to act like they're single, but they have a man. That's where we are as men nowadays in 2025, unfortunately. Girls are more interested in having a lit Instagram than having a lit relationship.
Yep.
Even down to late in if you want to know how close you are to what he's describing, think about when it is you want to have kids and when you want to get married. 20, 30, 50 years ago, you would have probably been saying 20, 18. Now a lot of you are thinking 28, 30. So you've already kind of got those seeds planted in you to delay family, delay being a wife. All the things that would make you attractive to men, you're pushing those things off because you want to have your fun and kind of get that run in. So this is the stuff of like the indoctrination is not just like there was a class of feminism. It's just all around you. You when you look at social media and you see all your girlfriends or homegirls traveling, purchasing stuff, going on all these trips, that requires time and resources. Most people aren't doing that at 16, 17, 18. They're going to college, they're coming out, And then they're seeing social media and it's like, I want to experience that. So what do you think's happening? You're now trying to experience those things as well. And all the while, the time that you were supposed to be focused on the things we're talking about, time's passing you by.
So, girls, do you agree? Disagree?
I disagree.
Because I know you've been in therapy. I don't know if you want to share it or like if he's right or
someone
he's
said
wrong.
they disagree. Who disagrees? Go ahead.
No, I agree.
Only with the beginning portion of what you said.
Sure. What do you disagree with? What part?
About pushing back kids, because I feel like with inflation and everything that's going on, like even childcare costs, and I feel like when you're in a relationship with your man, like my husband is before my kids. It's like me and my husband against these kids. So it's like if he's being overworked and feels like he needs to make more money, because I think the average, every time you give birth to a baby, it's like the average cost to raise a child is like more than $100,000. I think it's like $300,000.
I think that was maybe on an earlier conversation before it came in.
I think that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So 2 things. Number 1, the reason why the cost went so crazy is because who doubled the workforce and increased and stagnated the wages in the first place? Women did. Number 2, women that talk about the cost of kids don't talk about the ability to adjust their life to what a man can afford in terms of a lifestyle.
Well, I'm saying as a couple, like, okay, like a partnership, because that would be like a conversation that you would have with your man. Like, hey, baby, when do you think is a good time for us to have children? Because if we do have kids right now, you're probably going to have to pick up more hours at work. And then, so it's just like a conversation. Most households, the man is not just working. Now the woman has to work too to be able to afford a comfortable life.
And what I'm suggesting is, because you were born in this era, you presuppose that your income means something to... A fancy way of saying it is reimagine you couldn't get a job.
Okay.
But you both want kids at some point.
Is that
how would your lifestyle shift and change so that you could have kids? What ends up happening is because you don't want to change the lifestyle. Now you feel like, well, now we got to send the kids to daycare. Now we got to pay for a nanny.
Wow.
Now we got to do this. Now we got to do that.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Like now, I'm just saying the reflection of now, because honestly, the best situation would be for the mom to stay at home and the dad to go to work. But that's just not the reality with a lot of American families right now.
And what I'm suggesting again is, if you, maybe I'm saying it different. Maybe I'm not saying it correctly. Rather than adjust your lifestyle to what he can afford, so that he can afford being able to do that and provide for the kids, you would rather continue to work just to maintain.
So you're saying downsize. So you're suggesting, okay, I get that. So maybe like, okay, I get that. I understand. So instead of having 2 cars, you downsize to 1 car.
You could. Or
that makes sense.
The cost of the car, the cost of the mortgage, where we're living in a, like as an example.
No, it makes sense. That'll make it work.
No, keep going.
That'll make it work.
Like me and my wife live in
what I wanted to
Jersey,
explain.
right? We're one of the most expensive states in the entire country. Our property taxes, our mortgage,
New Jersey and Connecticut go back and forth.
Our taxes are the cost of some people's mortgages or rent per month.
Sorry, she white or black? Your wife?
Black.
All right, cool.
So the point I'm making is, if we really, really had to adjust and was like, yo, we want a second kid, but I feel like, Jeff, you're going to have to pick up more hours, or my wife's going to have to pick up more hours, I'd be like, or we could just adjust our lifestyle and live better within our means so that we can afford a second kid, even if it's just on my income. Okay. We may have to leave Jersey.
But that my thing is like me and my man, for instance, he works at Rolls Royce, so he's very flashy. Mitch. His name is Mitch _1.
Real quick before you go into this, I kind of know where he's going to go, but I do want to talk. I talk about this in my book, Why Women Deserve Less. Right? It's 100 pages because women deserve less. But the point is that Amazon bestseller, by the way. You guys go ahead and get it. But I'm going to write a second one. It's called Why Women Deserve Even Less. Not even kidding around. Second book on the way.
Can I see it?
Sure. But in the book, I talk about the doubling of the workforce and how feminism came in, doubled the workforce, and that was able to effectively increase inflation, lower wages, etc. Yeah. Now, I do want to say this because I already know where you're going to go. Well, we don't want to downsize, right? And that is exactly what they want, because women have a problem with consumerism. Women have a problem with debt. Women have a problem with living a certain lifestyle. Most women would rather live a certain lifestyle, right, than cut back.
It's
and that's
the opposite
fine.
For me and him, though. He's used to the flashy lifestyle. I grew up in Wellington, so I'm not used to like designer this,
That's
that.
still upper middle class area.
But
Wellington.
But he he is like.
Well, yeah.
He likes like him. For him, it's like we have to have a high rise. with the water
I
view, and
get
for
it.
me, I'm like, oh, I don't care about that.
That's fine.
But that's
This is
just
a rare
our
situation
dynamic.
where it's the man that's wanting to be the
But
the
he just
more
likes that.
flashy
He
one.
likes to be.
But most of the time, when it's them buying the nice house and everything else, it's the woman pressuring it. Oh, I want the car, it's the woman pressuring it. The materialistic stuff, it's the woman. There's a reason why, like, when you guys look at commercials, have you guys noticed that commercials have gotten way more woke recently?
Yes, they're less
Gillette. Have you guys thought about why?
consumerism.
Well,
buyer.
but who's buying?
The women are buying more.
Boom. Who's more likely to be woke?
The women.
There you go.
That's why cars are made differently now as well.
There you
like
go.
if you see every single car now, they're made more femininely because women are purchasing more. But
Exactly.
yeah, that's just in general.
So, and women make, most of the consumer decisions, 80% of the debt, you know what I mean? They create a lot of the consumerism. So advertisers understand this, and that's why they've marketed their...
geared towards that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
towards
and that's
women.
why commercials have changed.
But that's what I mean when I say, like, we have a problem with consumerism in America where women would rather work a job they hate to buy things they don't need to impress people that don't give a fuck about them.
Yes, boss.
Versus just downsizing.
Where, boss?
And having more kids and having a family.
Hello, boss.
And now we have birth rates that are through the roof.
Boss.
That are low, right? We have really low birth rates, and we got to import more immigrants to replace that birth rate. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want more fucking Mexicans and Indians and people from, third world countries coming in here and fucking shit up that don't want to acclimate and, learn the English language.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immigration, I think we need to be at a point now where we need to cut that shit back.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this isn't a political podcast. You guys don't have to go into that. But look at the UK. You guys are overrun right now with immigration problems. Look at Canada. Toronto's filled with nothing but stinky-ass jeets now. Doesn't even look like a first world Western country. I don't want that in America. And the only way we're going to be able to fight that is by having families and getting the birth rates up. But we can't do it. So what do? They bring in more immigrants. This is a very big problem, and you guys are already suffering with it in the UK. You guys just had a big-ass riot not too long ago. Hundreds of thousands of people on the streets. Do you guys hear about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Where?
In London.
A little bit.
You guys didn't hear about
I live in Spain. So.
Okay. Well, you guys have immigration problem in Spain, too.
Yeah.